I'm Mel,
And I'm Andrea.
and we've been asking ourselves, WTF? Where's the fun?
So, welcome to our podcast for heart led business leaders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs ready for more. More impact, more wealth, more joy, and more magic, all while having even more fun than ever before.
As co-founders of FunX, we believe that life and business is way more fulfilling when you're following the fun.
So, we're flipping the script on success, giving you permission to create from a whole new paradigm where you can have a lasting impact while nurturing your well-being and having a freaking blast along the way.
So join us each week for engaging solo episodes
and real conversations with experts who are embodying this new paradigm of leadership, spiritual wealth, business growth, and of course, fun.
If you're ready to reignite your spark, make bold moves, and lead from a whole new energy,
Let's jump in and have some fun.
we just recorded an amazing podcast with Laurie Hawkins.
So, Laurie is someone who truly embodies the art of living and leading with purpose and authenticity. She is a business and leadership strategist, catalyst for transformation, and the creator of the Wake the F Up Festival, an immersive experience that blends strategy and soul for ambitious women. What I love about Laurie is that she is also like such a good mix. I think harmony is probably the word that
Yeah.
comes up between the strategy, but also the soul. She's also the host of Ambitious, Awakened, and Aligned podcast, and just so much fun.
Yeah.
I think the whole theme that you're really gonna see and dive into from this episode is all about waking the F up, like really connecting to that I think that you inside that's truly coming out through that lens of play and joy and fun and permission. And I really think Lori did a great job in explaining like what do you do in order to embody that?
Yeah. So hope you enjoy.
Have fun.
Hey. Welcome back to WTF. Where's the fun? I'm Mel.
And I'm Andrea.
And today we have Laurie Hawkins with us. Well, welcome, Laurie.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with both of you. We are so excited for this. I think we are even like so similar, I think, in so many different ways. But as soon as we met and you were like, my whole vibe, and you even just had a whole festival on it, is Wake the F Up.
Yes, we need to wake the F up.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Laurie, for you?
Yeah. So for me, I come from a corporate background. I say I'm a recovering corporate leader and very much have been in male-dominated industries for most of my life. And then really even starting my own business over 18 years ago was more out of I have to get out of the corporate rat race to be an amazing mom. It wasn't that I had this calling to be an entrepreneur at the time. And so I created my coaching consulting business even from the perspective of the paradigms I learned within corporate, how I kind of knew to do things. And a couple of years ago, probably more than that now, I just kept getting this nudge. Like there's another way, there's something else you're meant to do. There's more that's needed in the world. There's different conversations that need to happen. And I felt my own like wake the F up of just step into that. And as I did, and I started experiencing that and having conversations, especially with women, about what that looked like, then this Wake the F Up festival idea was born. And the F is anything you need it to be. I mean, for a lot of people, it's the F. It's like just shake it up. But it's fun, like you are talking about, and it's freedom and it's finances and it's, fierce and all these other things. And so we created a festival where wellness, that spiritual wellness, evolution, all those things were coming to play as well as the business strategy and helping people understand they can coexist.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I think it's true. It's such a transition, I think, even from from corporate to the approach, and doesn't even have to be corporate, but I think very much, yeah, like the traditional, I think, approach to success, which is also like, I think, the energetics around it.
Very male driven, like hustle culture, like we have to do this now or else.
And it's almost like a blueprint. So then we found this when we left. Like I was in policing, which not necessarily corporate, but I would say definitely more of like
Still corporate
a
structure.
hustle masculine type approach, more fear based approach, I think, and then into our business. And then it's like I think we do at first just kind of like recreate, okay, well, I'm gonna just sit at my desk because I'm scared to go for a hike in the middle of the day because I've created this parameters around myself. So, and that's the one thing that I really like, that you infuse almost like this embodiment, the I don't know if you would use the word like the feminine with the masculine, but there is more of this harmonious, I guess is what I'm trying to say, approach, and still being able to, like, some women like genuinely enjoy what they do as the leader in corporate. And I think sometimes it's like we think we have to like either it's all or nothing.
Mhm. Yeah, it was interesting, and I know both of you came from backgrounds like that, where that drive and that hustle and grind, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's about the energy of it, right? Because I love results. Which which is why, ambitious, awakened, and aligned, they can all coexist as long as we're coming at it from the energy of desire and joy and fulfillment versus I have to, I must, I should, all of those different perspectives. And also putting the masks on, like I do look back on my younger leader self and how she showed up in ways that thought she had to survive in those environments. I'd love to go back and be like, actually, what would it have been like if I just trusted myself? What maybe it would have been accepted. I don't even know, right? Because a lot of it is also just perspectives, and the reality is there just wasn't a lot of women there to also kind of co-create with, right? So I think it's just this. Harmony is my word, finding that harmony, and you said that, Andrea, it's finding the harmony of how these things come together, like strategy and soul and, fun and fierce, driven and aligned. Like all of these different perspectives can truly coexist. They can.
Yeah.
And we just have to kind of step into that and trust ourselves more. So I don't look at it as much from feminine, masculine. I don't. I know lots of people do, and I think that's beautiful as well. Because I have two sons, and so I'm like, I want our young males to also have a voice and feel like they still belong because we've kind of gone in this direction where often we don't make them feel like they belong. So, teaching them that emotions can coexist with, showing up with some of that typical testosterone, I guess you would say, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I love that. So it's like the harmony and the and.
Yeah.
That's what I've been hearing. It's like this and it can
Yes.
also be
Mhm.
it can really be both. And what I have found, I don't know if you found this, like, so how, okay, let's say somebody who maybe came from a place where maybe they, yeah, they did the pushing, they did the forcing, and then maybe they swung the opposite way, and now they're like, I I don't wanna set goals necessarily as big as I used to, even though I have them, and it's almost like they're playing a little bit like, "Well, now I'm scared to actually go for what I want or do what I wanna be doing at the level that I know I'm capable of, because I don't wanna swing all the way back."
Yeah.
So how can you navigate that where it's a little bit of that soul strategy, but also that, like, let's go for our big juicy goals?
Ooh, I love this one because I remember even early in our when I say just a few years ago, the nudge for the business, but it's been a decade where I actually was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease probably 15 years ago. That was my awakening, where it's like, okay, you get these little whispers, you're supposed to do things different, and you don't. And guess what? Then we will be faced with something bigger. So you have
We
to
call it the baseball from the universe.
the baseball from the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the baseball for me was being diagnosed with an autoimmune and really needing to take care of myself. And so my husband and I both went on that journey of, how do we support each other into listening to what that's meant to be, learning. I joke, it's like listening to the body. What the fuck does that mean? Like I'm talking to you, are you right? So it's really learning those things has been a bigger journey. And I used to always say, what if I lose my edge? So I actually ruminated on that with, can I, can I stay driven, results focused, excited about goals, climbing that mountain, and trust in the universe and what's meant to come and be in a more spiritually connected place. And that was a little bit of an adventure. And sitting here today, I say an absolute hell yes, you must. Like they do and they are meant to, and we have to figure out the dance. So I think that the biggest awareness is learning to tap into our bodies and allowing energy to work with us while we still have that big vision of the future. So instead of it has to happen A, B, C, D, it's what is that vision of the future and being so deeply connected and aligned to that, that for me, it's the who is she that belongs inside of that vision. And then having a plan and allowing it to work serendipitously and synchronicity happens, and also I take inspired action.
Yeah.
Both end, back to the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. That's
Oh,
so
hi, puppy.
I know, eh? You'll pop in and out.
That's good. I love it.
Today's episode of WTF Where's the Fun is sponsored by The Fun Experience, a curated mastermind for established business owners, entrepreneurs, and CEOs ready for more. More magic, more joy, more wealth, and more fun than ever before. So if you're ready for a peer-to-peer mastermind that's helping you to embody more leadership, more impact, and make bold moves, The Fun Experience is where it's at.
I love that so much. So who are the type of women that you love to work with?
Mm, I love to work with that ambitious leader who is hearing the nudge, is saying, what the F is this all for? Like, I've got all the accolades, I've won all the medals, I've got the trophies, I'm at the pinnacle of my career success, and I'm feeling, what's it all for? Is there more? There's got to be more. And to find, meet them in that place where they can still enjoy, like, actually enjoy what they have achieved, feel that at a deep level, and find a life they're obsessed with too. So it really is that, it's still working with the results focused, driven, ambitious leader who really is looking for another way.
Yes.
I think that's fun. I always love when people are like, let's play better, let's play in a more fulfilling space. So what would be okay, because we talk about fun, but what's I think not fun is feeling like what you just described when you're at this place where, yeah, like you've hit all of this. I think even not even necessarily like ticking all the boxes. Like sometimes like it's genuine, like heart centered. I think it could be goals. It could even be milestones that we've hit, and still it can still feel like, what the f? Like, is
Yeah.
this it? I still desire more. So And I think when someone's in it, it really much feels like
They're in it.
you're in it. So what would be like a like let's say someone's listening and they're like, "Okay, I definitely resonate. I am here." What is
That is me.
that to me? What is like a a a simple could be a tool, an action, a next best step to help them
Mhm.
to start shifting back into that harmonious embodied space?
Mhm. I think step 1 is follow the nudge.
Yeah.
So when we put the festival together, I have a beautiful network of leaders and founders and entrepreneurs that I've connected with, worked with all through the years. And the stories that women would tell me of why they couldn't come actually shocked me. So and it was always like, I so need to be there. And oh, there's no way, even from a CEO, there's no way that I can actually take time off work and say that going to do a cold plunge and some strategy is actually to help me grow.
Yeah.
So this, in particular, a CEO that I work with on a regular basis paid for it out of her own pocket because she did not believe it was considered growth and development from a business perspective. So number one, I would say the acknowledgement of that nudge. And then on the flip side, I don't deserve to be at that table because I'm not a leader. And, like, I have such a belief system and we are all leaders. Every woman is a leader in some capacity, whether that's your community, your family, everyone has a seat at the table for this conversation. It actually has no impact what role you are for us to be able to start showing up together and giving ourselves permission. So I think that that's step 1. Step 2 is understanding energy is everything, and we choose. We get to choose. And I think even that's foreign for many of the people that I speak to right now. I think in your business and your network, you have this beautiful at this point I see the people you're connected to, they believe and trust that. Still where I'm at, there's a little not quite a belief that you can invest in yourself that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I was okay, I love this. The first one, you shared so much about I think what you're saying connects with the second one, which is energy. And I there's so many different reasons I think why we feel or people feel like, well, like I don't have time or
Yeah.
I don't have permission or I don't have whatever the thing is that we feel like we don't have in order to do the thing, even
Mhm.
though there may be a nudge being like, I feel like this would be is what my soul is calling me to do. And then almost like the fear pops in and I think it might not even make sense logically why you need to be there.
Yeah.
But that's I think part of the shift that needs to happen is like we can't become and grow and expand in the same energy that we're in.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we can't see the energy because the energy, it needs to be shifted. And how does that happen? There's so many different ways you can do it.
Mhm.
But like what you're saying is why not do it as a group in like cold plunges while also getting you more connected to the clarity piece and the strategy piece. So what have you seen? So for somebody who's like, I kind of get it, or maybe I do get it, and yet I'm on that verge of that next level. Maybe it's that next level investment, that next level room, that next level nudge.
Yeah,
What would you like being on the other side of it? And this is what we love too, because we can see
I know.
what happens when you do that.
You can see what people don't see.
Yeah. But I'm wondering from your perspective, like what happens when somebody does show up in that energy?
It it changes everything for them. It's almost an instantaneous. So the one thing, and you will have experienced this as well, every woman that walked into that festival, and I was at 2 women's events last week, same thing. So it's when we show up as leaders in what we're doing in our businesses, and we create that space that they feel it, it was just a palpable energy that everyone went, "I have never felt this before."
Yeah.
So knowing that when you take that first step, you will be met with something very different that will help you understand the power of it. It's almost just, okay, if you're getting the nudge, follow the nudge, trust that, and then you step into the community that you're being called to, the event that you're being called to, and that experience will it's funny, this story is popping up, so I just feel like I need to share it. So I was at, just a girls' gathering on the weekend, a group of friends, and, we were gonna play games, and I brought some oracle cards, and I said, "Oh, let's just pull a card. Let's see." And so I have this group of friends that are very, very open to that, and then I've got these 2 sitting that are like, "Really, Lori, we're not doing that stuff with you today. Like, we're just not, right?" And it was a birthday the birthday girl's like, "No, let's do it." So, of course, they played along. And so, they all pull a card, and this one woman who happens to be a leader in a she's in, like, defense, something very, like, male-dominated, traditional leadership belief systems, and she she was the if I could describe the look on her face, and rolled her eyes as she's pulling the card, and she pulled the card play. And the description of play is, you need to slow down. It's time for you to look around you and find ways to have more joy and laughter and fulfillment. And so she gave me this look. She's like, okay, I needed that. And so we had probably an hour conversation, the whole group, about what does play mean? Do we give ourselves permission as women to play? How do we have fun? How do we build more fun in? What's the vibration of fun? What does it then allow into our lives? And so even just starting to have these types of conversations, I think is step one. And listening to podcasts like this where you can be in the privacy of your own car listening and, just navigating it for yourself. So I think we have to learn to have more fun as women. We must play more. It's like a must for me. And I'll share this. I think this will really serve your audience. I actually had to book play into my life first. I had to book it. So I turned 50 and I recognized that I was not playing enough. I was not having enough fun. Even though I understood the conversation we're having, I still wasn't fully taking those steps for myself. And so I booked in my calendar that every Friday at 4 o'clock, I was going to pop the cork. So we call it Pop the Cork Fridays. And you don't even, it can be non alcoholic, it doesn't matter. It could be a buble, whatever you want it to be. But it was about the pause to acknowledge, and I love the bubbles. So, like the sound of the pop and the bubbles and the just
Love that.
giving myself permission. So, for 1 full year when I was 50, it was booked in my calendar at 4 o'clock every Friday. I am telling you, my resistance
Yeah.
was massive.
Yeah.
So, it was a chore probably for the first 6 months until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh no, it's now a ritual, I would call it. It's a sacred ritual that it's not always at 4 o'clock on a Friday, but there is an acknowledgement at some point on Friday that we need to pause, we need to celebrate what the week has been and something from the week and go into the weekend with something to be excited about and celebrate. Because I don't think I was present anywhere,
Yeah.
really until I taught myself to be.
I have two things on this. Two things came up. When you're talking about having more play in your daily, I think a lot of women judge what their type of play is compared to their friends or their partners. And I think that needs to stop and stop shaming ourselves for certain things that we might enjoy and our partner might not, or our best friend or our
Yeah.
sister. And you need to do it for yourself to fill your cup up, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Right. The second thing I got when you were talking about popping the cork, which I am going to start to introduce because I think if I was listening correctly, What I think I heard is you're pausing and you're getting into gratitude,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah. Yes. And gratitude
Mm.
will change your life forever.
Forever.
Because you could have had a shitty week, right? And if
Mm.
you have the ritual that you are popping the cork or doing something, taking pause at Friday or whatever, at 4, 3, whatever. And even if you had a shitty week and you say, well, at least my health is good this week. Like that can change everything. That can change your whole going into the weekend. It can shift everything for you. You can be present with your family because you're grateful for your health,
Mm.
right?
Or at least even I have this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this moment to be present. That gratitude alone is massive because I have it. I get to sit with my husband and have a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's such a different energy, like that savoring. That's like the deliciousness of life. That
Yeah.
is the frequency of, and I think that's the important part. It really is about the frequency and the vibration in which we are really tapped into. And that's when things happen. It's like that when you become magnetic. That's when
Mm.
things become easier. That's when like you start to have even more fun.
Yeah.
So
and people desire more of this because I will say, um, of all the social media that I do, the Pop the Cork Fridays are the engagement piece.
Ah.
That's what people wanna see. They're like, "Where's Lori popping her cork?" 'Cause, for a long time, I shared the Pop the Cork Fridays,
Yeah.
and, we're repurposing that right now, but it was just amazing to me, like, people want more of that permission for themselves, I think, is what they were really interested in, not what bubbly Lori's drinking.
Yeah.
And what you said, Mel, is I actually had someone challenge me a couple of months ago and said, "Do you know, like, are you really embodying fun, Lori?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm really good at fun, actually. Like, ask my kids. We play the games. We're like, they love coming home. They're young adults. They love coming home because my son just said he was home for the weekend and left again. He's like, you're the experience queen. And because I learned the pause, I'm now present in the experiences that I create. However, she said, "Okay, that's really cool, but I'm talking about fun for yourself." So this is where this judgment of, I don't know, well, right? And so I paused and I said, "Well, expand on that." And she's like, "Pleasure of doing something for you
Yeah.
that is fun, play, da, da." Like, oh, wow, whole other level. And I now that's what I've been working with, and I would say, ooh, I've become really good at the fun, play, pause with others, not just for me
Right.
right.
yet. So that's
Yeah.
we're always expanding, right? So I loved that that was brought up, and so, permission for every woman listening to us, right, is you get to find it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you find as you get older, like that falls away more?
Like the acceptance of doing it for yourself?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I saw something recently where our hormones actually play with us on that. That our hormones, as they adjust as we get into, like, our 50s and go through menopause and all that,
Yeah.
actually our hormones are supporting us in starting to care for ourselves more. Don't want to be quite as nurturing to everybody else first.
Yes, because it's exhausting.
So it kinda makes sense because, like, oh, that's interesting because it's definitely in my 50s where I've started to give myself more permission and not
Yeah.
feel the guilt. Yeah.
I'm a Leo, so I think I've had that since birth.
You're my husband. My husband's a Leo and I'm a Gemini. So
Yes. So Mel, I think your family too, also your mom, like definitely permission to just
Be herself.
be herself.
yeah.
Um,
But do you think playing sports too? I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like something in like my daughter played competitive ringette and I feel like she's a little better at that. And also Leo for sure. Like that would play a role in it.
I think it's the game, right? Like it starts to become a game. It starts to become
Yeah.
in what you were saying, it's like it's almost a practice. Like
Mhm. It is a
there's
practice.
and the practice doesn't have to be boring. I think that's part of it. I've hosted a couple workshops. I actually was a guest in someone else's mastermind. And I remember the whole workshop was fun. And I remember her saying, she goes, "I don't know what fun is." And
Mm.
I'm like, "You're secretly going to be probably one of the most fun people here." And she's like, "I don't know what it is." But what she was having is so many other people had been giving her ideas, like, "Do this,
Yeah.
try this." And she's like, "I don't wanna do any of that. That does not sound fun." So we actually went through an exercise, and what she discovered was like, okay, what was actually fun for her? She loved, like, delicious food. She loved, like, a quality cheese and she loved quality, and she loved an excellence in experience. But then she also loved sharing that with others, and she also loved even by herself, like, how can you infuse more of that? And then she started to get creative with that. So, I think it's that simple going well, it's not even it's simple, but it's maybe not necessarily easy because I think it is a perspective of the shoulds on fun,
Yeah.
the shoulds on play, to it really connecting with, like, but what would actually be fun? And then I think on top of that, where I think the real mastery comes in, is then allowing it.
Yeah.
And you even mentioned that, like, with yourself, and even we experience this
Yeah.
from time to time, is like the resistance to, we know it,
Yeah.
and often we're even doing it, but it's still, are we fully allowing it
Mhm.
to
And
the
embodying it,
exactly.
right? And I would say that too is we can practice till we integrate.
Yeah.
So like I said, it took 6 months before the pocketbook felt genuinely embodied and integrated as something that I trusted and loved because we only change at the speed of safety. We only transform at the speed of safety. So we have to teach our body that this is
Yeah.
a safe place to go. And that takes a little time because we've been in our old identities for so long. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's that so the journey I'm taking people on now moving forward is really awakening her that lives inside of that vision of who you want to become. And it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
We have to shift our belief systems that we don't always even see what those belief systems are. And we have to, you know, take different practices and rituals to see how we try them on and we see what's ours, what belongs, and then that old identity will perk back up and be like, "Hang on, you're not paying attention to me." I was like, "No, no, it's okay, you're safe." And we move forward. And I know that's a lot of the work you do as well. So,
Yeah, I totally agree. It's the safety piece. Yeah. It's
mhm.
like if you can truly feel safe, which in order to feel safe, we usually have to do all the things that we don't want to do, like go see.
It feels so uncomfortable. That's when you know you're track.
It's like this feels like a nightmare at first. It's like, okay, great, you're doing a wonderful job
Yeah. Keep going.
until yeah, that kind of shifts. So speaking of fun experiences and embodying this, let's talk about, is it Bali? Bali? I always say it wrong.
Bali.
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 Bali?
I think we can say it either way.
Yeah.
Bali or Bali.
It's like Costa Rica. I always say that one.
So tell us all about it.
Yeah, so part of that nudge in creating new experiences is so we're doing two more festivals this year. We'll do another one in Niagara in October, and we're looking to do one up in Collingwood in June. We're just finalizing, and those will be launched shortly. And creating retreats for women in places that maybe they wouldn't say yes to themselves before. So we're taking a group to Bali in April 5th to 10th. And I've partnered with a beautiful woman who does somatic and yoga and breath work. So we're going to do some of that. We're going to have juicy conversations about expansion and fun and play. And then we're going to explore the beautiful culture and
Yeah.
surroundings in Bali. So it's all about expansion and awakening. It's called the Awakening Retreat. And you can find out more on my website, Laurie Hawkins.
Amazing.
We'll link
We'll link everything for you.
the show.
Beautiful. Yeah.
People are you aiming for that?
So we only have 3 more spots available. It is a small, intimate group. So, we wanted everyone to feel safe. So the smaller, more intimate, sacred circle, because we really do want to have deep conversations where you can show up, be vulnerable, and start exploring the things that we've talked about today.
Yeah, that's so cool. Have you ever been there before?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I have one girlfriend who is really hoping to come, but she's got some changes going on in her life. And I said, I really hope it works out because just going to Bali changes your life. Just being there. It's one of those vortexes of complete transformation without having, you just show up and you will transform.
Yeah.
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 Have you been there?
No.
But we might have to go with you sometimes.
Yes. Yes. And yes.
That. And what are some other ways that people can, if they're like, I need some Laurie in my life, what are other ways that people can work with you, learn from you, co-create with you? So we have the festival, we have the retreat. What
Yeah,
else?
so those would be the biggest ways this year. As well, we're launching in February an Awaken Her program, which is about it's about that evolution of the new who she wants to evolve into. And so that launch is coming up. So you can follow along on socials and on my website just to see when the date is. And so that's the unfolding. And as far as, leadership, sales, customer experience, consulting, I'm always here for that. I only work with the leadership teams on those things now. But I'm always open to a conversation around that. If that's something that you think you're called to, just reach out.
Perfect. That's so good. If you were to leave the audience with something from your heart to their heart, what would you want to share?
Hmm. The word that is coming up for me is permission. Is if you are feeling that nudge inside of you that listen to it, that something is meant to be different. It's okay to do things different. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to grow and change. It's okay to take days off. It's okay to play and have fun. It's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
And so, the beautiful thing about the conversation we're having today is women like the three of us are here to be expanders and help you step into that. So just listen to the nudge and give yourself permission to go explore.
Ooh,
So good.
that's so good. I had just one
Mhm.
more question now because I love that. Where are you feeling the nudge?
Ooh, that is such a beautiful question. My nudge right now is deeper into the understanding of those old identity belief systems and how to allow them to come up, like be an allowance of them coming forward so I can see them and I can step into my own new expansion so that by me trusting and knowing and doing that, others can follow. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Yay!
Thank you so much for being here.
Love
Thank
you, Laurie.
you. Thank you so much. Love you both. Mwah.
Thanks for listening to WTF. Where's the fun?
We're Andrea and Mel, and we're so excited to be on this journey with you to see how fun it can get.
If today's episode brought a little bit more fun into your world, be sure to subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review.
And remember, life and business is so much better when you're following the fun. So let's have some fun.